It's been about 8 or 9 months since your team was, just kind of been tested or pushed. What did you find out about your guys tonight?
I thought we had some guys step up, particularly on the offensive glass. Devin was Devin. He went and got it for us. And I thought John rebounded it for us. And I thought Dax played well down the stretch. His ball security was pretty good. And he scored the ball.
As far as creating their shots, is Dax up there? One of the best on the team, or where would he?
Until we figure out that you can't dribble the ball in one place, nobody's going to score. Every time kind of we got it going, somebody'd stand there and dribble the ball, or we wouldn't reverse it where we could get a guy making a bad closeout and we could attack them. We just stand there dribbling between your legs or palming it and doing all that stuff doesn't do us any good. The game's about playing in straight lines, and we get to when we kind of get, when we get up and guys kind of forget how we get there, or how we can extend the lead. We got to get better at that. We got to get better at continuing to bear down. We had a 4-on-1 in the first half and threw it away again. It looked like the Buffalo game, and that's uncalled for. It's uncalled for.
When you're looking for early season teams to test, is that kind of exactly what you're looking for?
Who said I wanted that? They're good. We knew they were good coming in. They've got virtually everybody back from a team that tied for the conference championship, and I don't have any reason to believe that they won't be able to win their conference again this year. And they're good. They're a good basketball team. They're physical. We told our guys this is kind of like playing, like a Buffalo, like the winner of the Mid-American or the winner of Conference USA or something like that, because they shoot it. These guys made shots that we haven't had guys make against us in a while now. Some hard shots. If we don't turn them over, and if we don't offensive rebound, we get 22 offensive rebounds. But that's kind of what we do. And then we went through a stretch where we didn't score, but it wasn't because we didn't have opportunities. We threw it close, we threw it 2 feet from the basket, I don't know how many times, and didn't finish it. We got to get better at that.
When you're pressing that intensely and the team has 3 or 4 guys that can shoot it from 3, do you expect to give up some open shots, or do you always think that you can close out and at least get a hand up?
Well, they're going to get some, but we didn't drive them off the line like we talked about doing. We wanted to drive them off the line, and then, by then hopefully we got our other guys there, and they had to shoot medium-range jump shots. That's the goal. The goal is to get them off of that line. Don't let them stand on that line. I told our guys at halftime, we're taking hard shots, and they're taking step-in shots, and a lot of that did come, a little bit out of pressure, but there were a lot of times that our pressure really didn't speed them up to the degree that we wanted to speed them up.
Coach, with Holton, I'm kind of thinking about some of the plays he makes, like the tip in, or the way he might be able to kind of sneak in and get an offensive board, and certainly what he does on the inbounds pass. Are those the kind of things that's almost impossible to try for the other team to prepare for, simulate that kind of stuff in practice?
Well, I think the whole thing's hard to simulate if you don't do it. But John's a key. And John was more active today than he's been. He needs to be active. The hard thing, Justin, is you get playing at that kind of pace, and then you go down on offense, and everybody's saying slow down, and that's why he doesn't make any shots. You go watch him in practice. I mean, he can stand there and make shot after shot, but he gets rushed, and then he'll go to the foul line. He'll rush it at the foul line for some unknown reason, only to him. And when we're screaming at him, slow down, slow down, slow down, then he slows down, and he's not a bad shooter. Nate's not a bad shooter. They both of them kind of, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard to play at that pace and that intensity at one end, and then, put the brakes on at the other end. It's like I said, on the radio. I mean, I could tell them they have to pass it 5 times. That'd slow them down, but then it goes against what we're trying to do, which is to speed everybody up and make them go faster. You know what I mean? So we won't wear them down. Play more people, wear them down. I just told them in there, I mean, you guys can sit and pout. You guys that didn't think you played enough, you sit and pout. But if you pout, I'm not putting you in at all. So, I mean, it's your choice. We're going to play the guys that play the best are going to play the most, and I don't care who that is. And that's what we did a year ago.
How do you stimulate going fast on defense to have it slowed up on offense? That's probably just not something instinct.
We practice it. But, we've got 2 units that basically we have 2 units that go against each other every day in practice, and they're as good as anybody we're going to play for a while anyway. So we just got to keep working at it and getting better. It's a fine line. I mean, you don't want to run them in the ground early either. You kind of want to, and you got to teach them. And when we're playing like this, it's hard to teach half-court offense. There's a lot of stuff goes on, Well, I mean, I just put the out-of-bounds play in, and I've been looking for somebody that knows how to play that'll kind of read what the defense is doing. Dax is doing a really good job. He gets himself a shot, or he gets Devin a shot.
Coach, it's one thing to play a lot of players like you do, but you're also playing quality players throughout the entire roster. What does that say about the depth of your roster and the way that you'll be able to attack different type of teams throughout the years?
What do they say? It's all in the eyes of the beholder. What you think is quality, sometimes I don't. And that's why they don't play as much. But I mean, we have guys that are capable. We're athletic. We get to the ball. We can run and jump. But we've got, you've got to go to the other end, and you got to be able to pass the ball, and you have to know there's times we have to run some sets to get the ball where I want the ball to go. And when guys, don't know what they're doing, and there's so much more to it than what people realize. And you try to make sure that you hit everything. We're not rebounding the ball to defensive end very well at all. But, when I go back and look at my practice schedules, we probably haven't worked at it enough. But then the next thing is, what do I take out? And we go 3 hours a day. We go 3 hours every single day. So what do I take out of there? Try to, do the best you can with, and I think now that we're starting to play games, you do what you think go against what the other people's strengths are, to make sure that if they're a good offensive rebounding team, then we're going to spend a lot of time on defensive rebounding. Does that make sense?
Coach, you feel like the crowd gave you a lift there in the second half. What does it mean to bring your team to Charleston a couple times a year?
Well, I just said on the radio, this is the worst crowd I think we've had in 9 years. This was my idea. This was my deal. I wanted to come down here because I know how hard it is to get to Morgantown from Bluefield and from Princeton and from Beckley and Yeager and all those other places, But same sense, when we come here, it's a lot harder for the people from the Eastern Panhandle to get here, and I'm in a lobby today and running with a bunch of people from the Eastern Panhandle who's like, hey, coach, come on, man, it's 2.5 hours more. You know, so, I mean, I want to come here, but I don't want to come here and not have a good crowd. I mean, we're back to where we're getting, you know, 10,000 a game, we'll have 11,000 a game in Morgantown, so, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm all for it, but at the same time, if we're gonna come, then come to the game. Don't say, hey, we want you to come down and then not come to the game. And this is a good team. We didn't bring some dog down here. This is a good team, very good team. This is an NCAA tournament team. This is a team that at the end of the day is going to be in the top 100. And that's what you want to do. You want top 100 wins if you're looking to not just get in a tournament, be seated in a tournament. And this is a team that is going to be a top 100 team, without a doubt. They're going to be an NCAA tournament team.
Coach, I imagine Vaughn will probably study his turnovers tonight and learn from those, but how much does his scoring offset his learning curve?
Well, I'm of the same opinion that Javon is. I don't want him to be okay. I want him to be great. So he needs to get better at those other things. You know, and it's easier to say than it is to do. You know, he made some bad decisions. He made some really bad decisions with the ball, but he made some really good decisions too. And I think the battle is to try to keep working and working and working until he's making more and more and more good decisions and less bad decisions. Because he is what he is offensively. He's going to be able to score the ball.
I'm guessing the scouting report on Brown was quick trigger, you know, not a lot of conscience. Did you feel like you guys did okay? He just made some shots that he could go in?
Well, he made some shots. You know, we put our hands down too many times. You know, I told our guys at halftime, I mean, when you go to, well, they don't know how much they do it anymore, but when you used to go to basketball camps, you know, what do they teach you? They teach a rocker step. You know, they teach all those things. Why do they do that? To get the defense to put their hands down so you can shoot it. It's hard to shoot it with guys have their hands up. The shot he made in the corner is a big-time shot. Big-time shot.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Yep.